What's going on, y'all? I want to talk about something that I'm pretty sure some people going to look at this video and like, what in the world is he talking about? Like, what? I got to do anything, but I want to talk about the importance of women's rights. Like I said, I know somebody going to hear like, what? Women's rights? Like, what are you talking about? You're a dude. What do you care? What do you know or care about women's rights? Well, let me explain something. I've always been an advocate of equality, even as a child. Like, I know people have the term, a man's job or a woman's job and all that stuff. I know that I've heard that term before, but I've never been one to use those terms as like if a job is gender specific. I mean, yes, there are things that women may do better than men or men may do better than women, but that does not mean that they are gender specific, okay? I mean, unless you're talking about a male giving birth or something like that, I understand that, yes, there are certain things that, biologically, yes, men can and can't do, and biologically, women can and cannot do. I understand that, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in terms of biology. We're about to run into each other. I'm speaking in terms of merit, right? Merit, M-E-R-I-T, merit, right? First things first. If any person, that's mainly men, can't see the importance of women's rights, equality, then you're in for a rude awakening. I mean, this is a new day, but technically, if you want to be real about some things, it may be a new day for America, but in terms of the world and world history, this is quite common, believe it or not. For many, many years, and centuries and millenniums and all that stuff, in many different cultures, the role of women has always been significant in a civilization. And I'm not saying, the role of women were greater than men or something. No. In fact, I'm saying that the role of women in many historical aspects were equal to men. Believe it or not, there once was a time where the leader of a group wasn't always men. Where the king of a nation wasn't always men. A lot of the times, the ruler of a nation, like in many African cultures, the ruler of a nation wasn't always a man. You will find a lot of times where the ruler of a nation was actually women, in that the line of succession for rulership went through the woman, not the man. Now, I know not all cultures share these beliefs and principles. That's okay. But now, how is that relative to today in this society? Well, we are seeing a literal renaissance being birthed before our eyes. I would say for the past year and a half, 2 years, up until today, we are witnessing, we as a society, as an American society, as a world, really, we are witnessing a renaissance, a rebirth of women and women in power. And it's not so like women in power meaning that men have to give up their power. No, because I know there's gonna be a lot of guys that probably hear this video and probably think, well, if women have power, that means that the men won't. No. Believe it or not, women don't care about usurping the power of men. No. In fact, all women want is to at least have the same opportunity as men. Right? It's not that deep. Women don't want to take over men's roles, or take over. If a woman's in power, that means that I gotta go. No. Women want, as Solange's album says, a seat at the table. Just a seat at the table, like. And I know people probably say, mainly men and probably some women too. Okay, well, you're a man. Why are you talking about women issues and not men's issues? You're a man. Why is talking about women issues so important? Like, what do you know about being a woman? What do you know about women's rights? Well, let me just say, I know nothing about being a woman. Obviously, I know nothing about it. I know nothing about what it's like to be a woman day to day. I know about it historically, but I don't have an individual, internal understanding of what it is to be a woman day to day. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to have to try extra hard simply because of my gender. I don't know. As a man, I can say that yes, in society abroad and in this society especially, men have it easier. Even as a black man, I have it easier. That's just the facts. It's just true. It's just true. I have it easier because I'm a man. Or male. I have it easier, yes. And even if I'm a black man, I have it easier than a black woman. That's true. But because of that, because I know that, I also have examples. I have too many examples of women that I know personally in my life, that I've met throughout my life, that my aunts, my mother, my grandmother, friends that I have, my wife. I know too many women, and I have too many examples of women doing great and excellent things for me to just say, just to sit back and see, like maybe it be in Hollywood or be in music or whatever. To say, okay, look, if a woman can do the job just as good, if not better than the man, give the woman a job. Or how about this? How about forget about giving the woman the job? If a woman has a business, don't get in her way. That's really what it is. Because there are plenty of women who are CEOs and who are excellent creators who influence the way we look at things. Like, believe it or not, in this day and age, a lot of the things that we view on TV, behind the scenes, there may be one or two men, but there are a group of women who are coming together, who are powwowing, making these things happen behind the scenes. And from what I see, women are saying, look, we don't want to fight with men. We don't want to fight with men. That's what I see. We're not trying to fight with men. We're not trying to fight with men. We may compete, but we're not trying to compete to where it's a detriment to everyone. See, it's one thing to compete with somebody to try to tear them down Like, if I win, that means you lose, or it means if you win, it means I have to lose. Is that kind of competition? This competition where, look, then there's what I call a mutual competition, a productive competition. Productive competition simply means even if we're competing against each other, the goal is mutually beneficial. So what if I'm competing against you, you're competing against me? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with competition, even if it's man versus woman in terms of competition. But I'm not competing with you because you are a woman, and you're not competing with me because I'm a man. We are competing for a mutual goal. It's the same like a basketball team or a football team. If you have teammates and one person is saying, okay, I'm going to get 15 rebounds. And the other person say, nah. I bet you so-and-so I can get 20 rebounds. As long as we win the game together, it shouldn't matter. Oh, if I get more rebounds than you, then I don't like you anymore. No. The goal is to win the game. Now, as a means for fun, just for friendly competition, we say, okay, look, I'm going to get this amount of rebounds. I'm going to get this amount of points. What you got? It's a friendly competition. That don't mean that we have to tear each other down for one of us to feel better about themselves. Now, like what are we talking about, Chris? What are you talking about? Look, women. I always say this, and I don't know if anybody ever caught this, but I always say this. Men may rule the world, but women run the world. I'm going to say it again. I don't know if y'all really hear me when I say that. Men rule the world. Women run the world. Now, see, when I say that, somebody may hear this and look at me kind of sideways without really taking the time and digging into the science of this. There's a difference between ruling something and running something. Ruling is like the king or the president. I don't want to say president because you can't have a monarch in this society. So I would say ruling something is like being the CEO of a company. Rulership is like the CEO of the company. The CEO of the company is usually the face of the company. Is the person or entity that you see in the forefront, right? For most part, that's men. Men have always been in the forefront of society. That when you think of a country, you don't think about congresswoman, you think about the president, which is a man. When you think about, with the exception of Queen Elizabeth, but even still, really, Queen Elizabeth is like the CEO of England. Parliament is the board of trustees, right? There's a difference. Men have been the CEO of society. Women have been the board of trustees of society. Meaning there's usually a board of trustees are usually a group of people that you rarely see that really are the ones that make things move. Women have always been the ones to make things move in this country. Nothing would move, believe it or not, nothing would move without women. Trust me when I tell you this. Without women, nothing would move. James Brown said it. This is a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. That's real. That's real. Nothing would move without women. The things we do as men would be for naught if it wasn't for women. the largest consumer is women. They hold things down while we go be the CEO. They hold things down in the background. Well, now there's a slight shift. I won't say total shift, but there's a slight shift. There are women what women are saying now that, you know what, we can be the board of trustees and we can be the CEO. Men do it. It's all based on merit. Women are saying, look, we can do the job just as well. Get out of, don't hinder us. It's the same thing how when black people say, but white people, look, we as black people, we can do the job. Just as a white person, don't hinder us. Don't get in our way to stop us from doing what we must do to succeed. This same thing's going on when it comes to gender. Women are saying, look, we can do the job. We've been doing the job. Just don't get in our way when we're trying to do the job. If we can do the job, we can do the job well, then either help us succeed or get out the way. Now, I'm going to say it again. I know there's going to be some men who are going to get butthurt about this and probably call me all kind of crazy names. That's fine. All I want y'all to do for any person, and some women, that's fine, who hear this and see what I'm saying as offensive, I want you all to go and see what it would be like if you had no women in your life. Imagine how difficult your life would be if there were no women. Just tell you that right now, right? Just think about the things you do day to day, every single aspect of life, and think about how difficult it would be if there were no women around at all, helping you or supporting you or guiding you or teaching you. Think about that, all right? I'm off. Check out. I'm about to go on my run now. I will see you all later. Peace.